Yo guys, what is up? Moxie here with another Borderlands 3 video for you guys today. Today we are going to be doing an in-depth look at the numerical increases of Mayhem modifiers as well as having a discussion about them. Um, but what I wanted to show for you guys today is that the Mayhem modifiers, the percentages that they say they do, the percentages that they say they increase or decrease, aren't actually true. A lot of them are wrong. The plus 50% increased damage isn't plus 50%. Um, and when you think you aren't doing any bonus damage, you're actually losing damage. A lot of crazy things are happening with these modifiers. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the calculations for each and every one of them and showing you guys um, the the percentages that they actually increase by. So hopefully you'll learn something from the video today. I was under the misconception that the modifiers did what they say they did. If you were under this misconception, don't feel bad. Once again, something in the Borderlands game that says it should work isn't working. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of crazy things happening with these modifiers. We're going to show them off today using this technical test dummy. Real quick before we get into the video, just a quick shout out to a guy named Toastbox on YouTube and Discord. He is the man behind our new YouTube and Twitch logos and banner. So if you enjoy them, be sure to check him out on his social medias. That'll be in the description. But let's just get right into the video. So this is what our damage looks like with no boosts to our damage. For using an Unforgiven, we have no points in our skill tree. We have no class mod or artifact on, and our Unforgiven does 1053. We're shooting armor, so our damage is 978. Just as a base value for all of our calculations, when we do the calculations when we have actually modifiers, we need our base value, and that is 978. All right. But we'll just go into some quick maths and show you guys what I mean, and so you guys can be the most informed when you're playing your game and looking at your Mayhem modifiers to know what kind of damage you're actually doing. So right now we're looking at the modifier minus 50% damage with all guns. Minus 50% damage with all guns works as intended. It will cut our damage in half. Thank God. Works as intended. But it works differently than the plus 50% damage with specific weapons or the minus 50% damage with specific weapons. It actually gives us a different numerical value. So our Unforgiven without any modifiers on does 978 damage. 978 damage. And now we have minus 50% with all guns. And if we do 978 times 0.5, we get 489, which is exactly what we're getting right now. So that modifier works as intended. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so now we have the modifier plus 50% pistol, SMG, and shotgun damage, which works differently than the minus 50% damage, and I'll explain why. The minus 50% damage takes into account our Guardian rank. So it's going to take our damage, including our Guardian rank, and do that by 50. The plus 50% pistol, SMG, shotgun damage, any plus specific to your weapon, doesn't actually take into account your Guardian rank. It adds your Guardian rank afterwards. And we'll do the math out for this. So we're going to be getting my Guardian rank right now for my damage boost is 13.74. So if we're at 100% gun damage, we'll do 100% plus 50% is 150 plus 13.74 equals 163.74. now we're going to divide 163.74 divided by 113.74, which is my gun damage after my Guardian rank boost, and we'll get a 43 9 or point or 44% increase in gun damage. So we're, instead of getting 50% increased, we're only going to be getting about 44% increased gun damage. So we're hitting for 1,407. So if we take our value of our original boost, which was 978 times 0.144, or sorry, 978 times 1.44 equals 1408, which is what we're hitting for, pretty much. I did a little bit of rounding there. But, so, a key takeaway from this is the plus 50% damage to a specific gun works separately than the 50% or minus 50% to gun damage. You are actually not getting a 50% bonus. Depending on your Guardian rank, for me it's about 44%, but you are getting not 50% bonus. This means, though, however, that when you get a plus to damage, like pistols, SMGs, shotguns, and then the minus to damage, what I was thinking, I don't know if you guys were thinking that, but I was assuming that our damage was going to be equal, that we were going to be doing normal amounts of damage. I've said in past videos, we have no boost to our gun damage because we had a minus 50% and then a plus 50%. That isn't the case. So we'll show that off in the next one. All right, guys, so this one is a little bit of a doozy, but we're going to go through it and I'll show you guys what damage you're actually doing and how to calculate this. Because the plus 25% gun damage doesn't work as it says it does. Why would anything work as it says it does? This is kind of the overarching theme in Borderlands. Plus 25% gun damage is actually 35% increased gun damage. And I'll show you guys exactly how this works. So when we shoot this car with our Unforgiven, we're going to do 198. So we're going to start with the 70% damage, minus 70% damage with normal bullets. So 0.7 times 978, that's our base value. It's going to give us 684.6. Then we're going to subtract 978 minus 684.6 equals 293.4. Now we're going to multiply that by 1.35 equals 396.09. And now we're going to multiply that by 0.5. So what we just did was multiplying by 1.35 for the gun damage. It's not actually 25%, as I've learned. It's 35%. And then we're going to multiply that by 0.5 to get our value of 198. Exactly what we are shooting this car for. So takeaway from that, plus 25% gun damage is actually 35% increased gun damage. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so once again, we have minus 50% pistol damage, and this doesn't work the same way that the minus 50% damage with all guns works, but it does work in the same way that the plus 50% pistol damage does work, in that it doesn't take into your Guardian rank until after. So it's going to give you the minus 50% damage reduction, and then it takes into account your Guardian rank, versus the other ones which take in all of your damage as a whole and just minus 50% of that. So this, because our Guardian rank hasn't changed, it's going to be a 44% damage reduction instead of 50%. So if we do 0.44 times 978, we're going to get 430.32. 978 minus 430 equals 548. So when we shoot this car, 548. So 44% damage reduction from the minus 50%, which is once again confusing, and really want to show you guys what happens when we get plus and minus, because it's interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, after sitting here for about an hour reloading my game, about 500 reloads, equal to the amount of likes that we're gonna get on this video. Wink. 500 likes. We have minus 50% damage with all guns, plus 50% pistol damage, and that's what I was looking for. We unfortunately got it with minus 70% damage with normal bullets, but we can still show that off and show that we are losing damage even though we have a plus 50 and a minus 50. So let's show that off. But yeah, guys, if you learned something from this video, I would appreciate the like. Been working hard on this. This video was inspired from a Reddit post that I'll link in the description. But let's show this off. So 978 damage is what we were doing with no modifiers, right? So minus 70% is what we should be doing. So 0.7 times 978 equals 684. 978 minus 684 is 294. That is what we should be doing if there was no bonus damage. If we had 0% bonus damage, or weren't losing any damage, and we just had the minus 70% with normal bullets. 294. 211. We actually are losing more damage with the plus 50, minus 50. And I'll show you guys why and how that works. So, once again, we're going to have 978 times. We'll show this off in the percentages of how this works. So, the plus 50% damage with our Guardian rank should give us 163% increased damage, right? We have 13% increased Guardian rank, or 13.7. And then we're going to multiply that by 0.5, which is 81.85. 81.85 divided by our original value, which is 113.7, which is our damage plus our Guardian rank damage, is 71.9. So we're going to subtract that from 1 to give us a 28% decrease in damage. So 0.28 times 978 equals 273.84. 273.84. I'm really bad with numbers. All right. 978 minus 273. 978 minus 273 equals 705. We remembered. I have bad short-term memory. 705 times 0.7 equals 493. 705 minus 493 equals 212. A little bit of rounding, but we're right on the money. So plus 50% damage with gun, minus 50% damage with all guns does not equal 0 bonuses or decreases. You are going to be losing, depending on your Guardian rank, about 27 to 28% damage, which is interesting. But yeah, losing that much damage when we shouldn't be losing any. So just for you guys to know. And I think this is part of the problem with Mayhem modifiers. Um, they're not what they should be for endgame, not because their values don't work, but because having random increases and decreases to our damage doesn't lead to fun gameplay. This, in my opinion, just a little rant, like if Gearbox changed these mayhem modifiers, so like one, like if you could like spend iridium or something to get certain modifiers or to make it more difficult or get the most difficult modifiers, and then you would increase your luck even more. Or if the modifiers actually had impacts on like real gameplay instead of just damage, like if enemies started spawning randomly, or if enemies had like 50% move speed, or if enemies got a lot bigger, or like if all enemies became midgets, something like that, that made it crazier and more interesting and led to different gameplay experiences versus just having damage increases or decreases. That's just silly. You're not gonna play through a game with minus 150% damage to you, you could just reload it. But if you could get interesting modifiers that had a significant impact on the loot instead of having everything be the same impact, that would be an interesting endgame mechanic. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping that the Mayhem modifiers were going to have uh, more difficulty and make the game more interesting and more worthwhile. Not that I don't like Borderlands. I love Borderlands, as you guys know, the biggest fan I've been playing for many, many years. But because I'm so passionate about it, I care and I want the game to get better. Um, and we'll have a lengthy discussion. I'm thinking about doing like a podcast kind of style video with all of my thoughts on this. But leave your thoughts on the Mayhem modifiers and the end game in the comments below, because I would be interested in hearing what you guys have to say. But that was the video for today. If you guys learned something new, hit me with a like, with a comment. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got a lot more videos, informative videos on the way. So, peace.